What's happening, sales ascender? Sean here, back at you with another high ticket tune-up. Today is Wednesday. I hope you've had a great week so far. We're in the middle of the week, halfway to the end. And today we're going to talk about something I think is really valuable for a lot of people. Have you ever been in that place in a sales conversation where you have been establishing the problem that you solve with the prospect, and then all of a sudden they say, you say, oh my gosh, like a brainwave hits you and you know exactly what will probably solve the solution for the customer, and you jump in and you try to just share that idea and it was your idea. Well, if you try to jump in and do that, you're going to kill your sales career. And this is why your ideas will actually lose the sale. Stay tuned. What's happening, sales center? Sean here, back at you with another high ticket tune-up. I'm pumped to be here today. We're talking about something awesome. We got a great question that came in from Nancy. I'll just pop it on screen. Nancy says, Sean, yesterday I jumped in with a great idea that I knew would work for my client, but I lost the sale. Why did this happen? And as I spoke a little bit more with Nancy, what I recognized is she was listening. She identified, here's the problem that I actually solved for my clients. And then she jumped right to a solution mode. And then she came at it over the top and put a solution in that she knew would probably work for the client, but it wasn't the client's idea. And that's the true art of communication, and perfecting it is when you can have that, here's the solution, but you need to present it, communicated in a way where it's their idea. And I wanted to share with you kind of the main point of this whole session today is this: don't paint seagulls in your prospect's picture. What does that mean? This is a lesson I learned from Sandler sales system that I learned very, very intimately a long time ago. And here's the story. So Nancy is in second grade, and she goes to class, and she goes to art class, and she's sitting there in art class, and she brings out a piece of paper and she starts painting this amazing paper, this whole scene where there's houses and fences and cars and trees and beautiful stuff. But her painting has everything on the left-hand side. So you're looking this way, to be on the left-hand side of the piece of paper. And so the teacher, who is completely art professor, comes around and has all these credentials and says, oh man, this is a lovely painting, Nancy. The only thing is it's not balanced. In order to balance it, we need to put the seagull right over here. And so the teacher just takes a paintbrush and paints a seagull on the other side of the piece of paper. So Nancy takes this piece of paper and she goes home. Now she's sitting there at dinner time, and her mom has seen the painting, and then her dad comes home and they're sitting at the dinner table, and the dad picks up the painting and says, whoa, Nancy, this is pretty good. And I especially like the seagull. All of a sudden, Nancy gets up and sprints to her bedroom and just is in tears, right? The next morning, dad comes down for breakfast and sees her whole entire painting ripped up into little shreds of pieces of paper, and they're in the trash can. And Nancy's dad's like, Nancy, what is this about? Well, he ends up going and meeting with the teacher, who then says, hey, yeah, well, I saw your daughter's painting. It was great, but we needed to add the seagull to make it balanced. And the husband said, well, yeah, I like the seagull too. But then it got into this big argument because Nancy said, I didn't want the seagull in my picture. And it went back and forth and back and forth. What happened is this is a real case life scenario. Went all the way up to Nancy's dad went and met with the principal. It got escalated into court with the attorneys, and it ended up going, it's a real life seriously thing, and it went to court, and the ruling was they put Nancy on the stand, the final end, and said, Nancy, the seagulls in your picture, it does provide balance based on this whole thing. And Nancy just said, I didn't see it in my picture. And the case was immediately closed in favor of Nancy because the teacher had added something to the picture that wasn't supposed to be there. And so the lesson, again, is don't paint seagulls in your prospect's picture. Your job is to listen and to understand and to pull out the pain points that you can help with your prospect. Once you identify those pain points and there's a possible group of solutions, then instead of saying, here's what we could or should do, it's rather, hey, do you suppose this might work to solve that? And this is a safe way of actually creating the idea and putting it in front of your prospect where they could say, yeah, that would work. Well, that's great. Actually, that's what we do. Or no, that wouldn't work at all. And here's why. Oh yeah, okay, cool. That was a dumb idea. And now as a sales professional, you've completely protected yourself from ever going down that path, right? Another one is, hey, I don't suppose this would help, would it? Have you ever thought of that? Or you didn't mention this was important, did you? And asking it in that format, what will happen is the prospect will be like, well, yeah, actually, that is really important. Oh, can you tell me a little bit more why? Boom, now you're into a conversation where they're saying, here's the thing that you asked about, but now it's my idea and here's why it's important. You've immediately created that communication with them. And now they're going to say, oh man, Sean was the smartest guy on the block, even though I had nothing to do with it. I just knew that that was probably the solution. And instead of saying, here's what we need to do to fix this thing, is, hey, you never thought that like this might work. Does it? Do you think that would work? And the prospect will be like, well, yeah, that wouldn't work. That's dumb. And then you'd be like, yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to ask, right? And then you as a sales professional, again, are protected. And so it's a great way to allow your prospect to have seagulls in their picture, but you brought it up in a way that it became their idea. With that said, you've just been tuned up. It's another high ticket tune up. Again, there's a sales ascender inside of each and every one of you. Don't forget to smash that like button, share this to someone who can use it, and subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff. And I can't wait to see you next time.